Yeah, summer is here. Damn hot here. We have a little pool spa and we've just been dipping in it every couple of hours to kind of cool off. All of us have chlorine head. My little hasn't washed his hair in like a week. It just doesn't seem to make sense. He's in the pool all day long. I think tonight I'm going to give him a good scrub down. I can't imagine all that chlorine is good for him sitting on his skin. But I remember being a kid. I don't know if there might be age differences here, but if anybody's my age, I spent my whole summer at the community pool. Oh my goodness, I kid you not. I think it was, oh gosh, I'm going to sound like I'm a dinosaur. I think it was 35 cents to get in. And we were low income kids. So they had this summer program and you got this little pass. And if you were part of that summer recreation program where they give you like a lunch and they had like a recreation center that was open. And if you could make your way over to the pool, you got in for free. And we would walk over there in our flip-flops with a towel, no snacks, no water, no anything, and be there from, I don't know, like 11 o'clock till closing at 5 o'clock. Not eat, not drink, not anything. Just swim, swim, swim until our skin turned walnut brown. And we would have that dry skin from being in chlorine all day. We just loved it. It was so much fun. Just loved it. And all our friends would be there. And we did it mostly when we were about, I'd say from 10 up. The older we got, the more we were able to get around on our own. When we were little, we'd have to get dropped off or something. It was too far to walk. But when I was, like in junior high school and high school, I had these crazy cousins, and we would spend the whole day at the pool with them. And I was one of those little skinny kids who, I always looked hungry. I stayed small and I didn't develop as fast as the rest of my cousins. And so I looked kind of funny and they liked to tease me, about being flat-chested and little and funny looking. It was just all in fun, but I wanted to be just like them. And so we all went to this place to get bathing suits, and I think my aunt and uncle, I think it was my aunt and uncle that bought me a bathing suit. And all my big cousins, they were all girls, 4 of them, they all got bikinis. And I wanted a bikini so bad. And they were like, yeah, get a bikini, that'll look cute. And they had one in my size. I think it was in the little kids section. And I got it, and I remember it was like muslin, like cotton muslin, that kind of look, like almost like linen. And it was a string bikini, so it just had like 2 triangles for the top, and then it had like a little pair of bottoms that tied on the side. And it was beige, and it had these orange and yellow embroidered flowers on it, on the bottom and on the top. And I was so excited to go to the pool and wear that and be, a teenager. I remember how silly it was. It was just so silly. And it was so exciting for me. And I jumped in the water and came up and felt so full of myself. And I didn't notice until my cousin's friend Lisa Galindo, had a brother my age who I sort of had a crush on. And he came up to me and he was smiling from ear to ear and, was coming up to me, and I thought, oh, he noticed my bikini. And he came up to me and he whispered in my ear, hey, your top came off. And I said, what? He said, your top came off. And he was trying not to crack up laughing, but because it didn't have any breast tissue, those 2 little triangles, when I jumped in, just kind of went up, and it just left my poor little prepubescent chest exposed. And he was trying to be a good friend, but he was trying to hold it together. I was mortified. I went into the girls' changing room and I just cried my head off. My cousins came and rescued me when they noticed I was missing. And they said, no big deal, no big deal. Come on, let's have fun. Nobody cares. And they teased me, and they were sweet to me. And I think somebody got me a grape otter pop, and we just finished out the day. And it was all okay. It was. But I still remember how mortified it was. Oh my gosh. The interesting thing was, and I think I've said this before, you know, at that age, I come from a family of very large-breasted women. I mean, I kid you not, it's ridiculous. Giant breasts, tiny people under 5 feet, but more boobs than a person has a right to. And for some reason, they could not, and my mom was an early developer, and so were my grandma and my great-grandma. And so when I was like, you know, 14 and 15 and still hadn't gone through puberty and still was really skinny and flat-chested, they just couldn't figure it out. They were puzzled by it. First star and every full moon, I wished for boobs. I tell you, I don't know why, but I did. And the boob fairy heard, and she delivered in spades after I had my first daughter. I was like, I don't know, and this might be too much information, but I think I'm just saying it to be funny, not to be revealing or anything. It's just to be funny. And I'm guessing most people who watch here, so far what I've noticed is we're all women. And if you do find this offensive, let me know it, and I apologize. But yeah, after the birth of my first daughter, I woke up and I don't know what happened. And I thought, well, this is temporary because I'm nursing and this will go away, so I'll just enjoy it while I have it. It was a little much even for me, but it sure was exciting, very uncomfortable. And I thought for sure once I stopped nursing that they would go away and I'd be back to the way I was. Not so much. It was just the beginning. And then I'd have my second daughter, same thing. And now it doesn't matter what I do. I'm just like the women in my family. I was just a late bloomer. And it's funny, because my grandma used to always say that I was kind of the ugly duckling. She said, don't you worry about it. You're going to one day wake up and you're not going to know what to do with what you got. You know, some people are just take their time to get there. Don't you worry about it. And that wasn't a comfortable conversation for her. She's a very modest woman. In my entire lifetime, I heard her say brassiere maybe twice. The word vagina never came out of her mouth. Ever, ever, ever. Yeah, super modest. I'd never seen her with any part of her body showing. She always wore long sleeves, rarely ever wore a dress. The only type of dress she wore was a muumuu from when we lived in Hawaii. She discovered them when we lived there, and she had those, and she usually just wore those around the house or to, you know, run out really quickly, but hardly ever saw her wear anything revealing at all. Always buttoned up, even on a super hot day. Couldn't have been comfortable. And my great-grandmother, even worse. Always a scarf on her head, stockings, and very formal. Like her and my great-grandfather, when they left the house, it was, you know, they kept those kind of European kind of thing going on where, I guess in Portugal, when you left the house to go to church or to the store, you know, you put on your best. And my papa always wore a shirt and a tie and a hat, slacks. Kind of weird. Times change. Now that ginger hair I have, and I'm all over the place, I apologize. That ginger hair I have, if I recall, it was really wavy. So I'm wondering if I should make this hair a bit more wavy than I am. And I'm doing a color that is not even really brown. Here, I'll show it to you so you can see. And it's just for shadow underneath. I'm just sketching with it. I'm doing this color. It's just kind of a beigey skin tone almost, with a tiny bit of that brown. And that'll be the kind of the under layer. I'll bake it, and then I'll just work my way up. But, you know, I hate to do this. I think I'm going to take this layer off, go a little bit lighter, maybe add a little tiny bit of yellow, or a tiny bit of yellow and orange, or yellow and red to my base, and just kind of make my lines a little bit wigglier. I have a vision of it in my mind. Now the trick is to get it from my brain into my hands and on this baby, right? I'm gonna let that dry for a minute, because if I go to try to, so this head is kind of wet, and if I go to take a dark paint with this paintbrush and go to paint on this, it's gonna bleed. It's gonna spread like watercolor. So I want that head good and dry before I start painting on it. And I'm gonna go ahead and start Brooklyn. I love this baby's face, and I can tell she's related to Denise Pratt. They all have that same face. Their genetics are strong in that family. And I don't know what it is about this baby, but I really, really, really like her, and I like painting her. And I've never made a Brooklyn that I didn't like. So this is gonna be fun. I think I'm gonna do her hair darker. I like the way that looks on her. I tend to do darker hair. What did I make for lunch? I made couscous. It's kind of like a Middle Eastern pasta, almost like orzo, but even smaller. And it's super easy to make. You just put it in a bowl and you add a little boiling water on top. Like if you use a cup of it, you use a cup of boiling water. You could use chicken stock too, but I use water. And I personally like a lot of stuff in it. So today I put fine chopped zucchini, carrots, green onion, minced garlic, not a lot because it's overpowering. I put some pine nuts, and let's see, what else did I pop in there? Oh, some craisins, because I like a little tiny bit of sweet. And I think that's it. Oh, and some parsley. Whenever I think of anything Middle Eastern, I always think of parsley, and lemon. So I added a little bit of lemon, a tiny bit of balsamic, some olive oil. If I had feta, I would have thrown it in, but I don't have it, so I didn't. And then we had some chicken tender pieces. I'm trying to eat down all the chicken in my fridge. I'm not sure I'm going to be buying any more, I'm not sure. But for right now, I'm just eating down what I have. And there are the breasts that are cut into smaller pieces. And I just pan fried them with a little bit of olive oil and garlic. And when they were still hot and just about done, I just squeezed lemon all over the top of them. And then I served the couscous on some spinach and had the chicken, and that was lunch. Not exciting, but you know, nice for a summer day. I probably should have taken the chicken out and grilled it, but it was just kind of a pain to get all that going. It only took a few minutes. The pieces were so small, they cooked really quickly on the stove. And we have our air conditioning going, but it is an ancient air conditioner, so it is not doing the good job. I mean, it's keeping us from melting, but it's not the best air conditioning in the world. We do need to fix that and change that and replace that, but it's so expensive. All summer I say, this is the year, and then it starts to cool off, and I think next year. Again, I just want to stay as sparse as I can. It's a hard habit to break when you're used to painting a certain way. And because it's so hot, my thinner is evaporating super quick.